Hello again, SpeedGaming Live 4. Welcome to round 1 of the Timespinner Randomizer tournament. Today we have a race between Crimdahl and NesmaN88. And it's going to be a good one. If you've not played Timespinner before, it is a indie Metroidvania released a couple of years ago, and the Randomizer was released a couple of years later. It's a lot of fun, and we've been having a joy playing it. So the goal of this is to beat the final secret boss, where our competitors will need to collect all 5 pieces of the Timespinner. They will need some form of infinite vertical movement, and they will need at least security keycard B to get to the later areas of the game. And we can see here, Mom has given us our starting orb and spell, a fire orb with a minus on it, so it does way less damage than the normal fire orb, and has also given us Aura Serpent. Crimdahl is a little bit ahead, but we'll see if NesmaN can catch up. You'll notice that the main character, Linnaeus, is going very fast. With this particular flag set, we start with the dash that you normally don't get until very late in the vanilla game. And the main reason we do this is this game actually has an interesting piece of movement tech called risky dashing, where you backdash, attack, and jump all at about the same time. And if you keep doing that over and over again, you are almost as fast as in the normal dash. But it's very annoying and hurts your hands, and we don't really like doing it that much, so most of the race flags that we do start with dash to try and even the playing field. And so we already have a little bit of a routing divergence. Crimdahl went left at the start to grab 2 extra items and a warp gate that might be useful later. And NesmaN just went straight right. Crimdahl also going down to the Siren Cave as well. Ooh, wow. All right. So Crimdahl found the succubus hairpin down in the Siren Cave, which is the double jump of this game. So that's going to make a big difference. He already has an extra form of vertical. And yeah, that hitting the slime on the ceiling to damage boost through the mushroom quicker is some very good tech. I like that. So yeah, they're both heading into the castle now. NesmaN a little bit ahead, missing the double jump, but once they get there, they'll both be able to do the basement loop, which kind of loops around itself and has a bunch of items. If NesmaN doesn't find another piece of vertical movement, though, he's going to have to leave and go to the Siren Cave. Whereas Crimdahl will be able to explore almost all of the castle and reach the 2 bosses that he needs to defeat in there. We are playing on the inverted flag, which means you start in the past. And there are 3 bosses that you need to defeat in the past in order to get to the later game sections. You will need to defeat originally the Golden Idol / twins, Alana, and the Maw. But we are also playing with boss shuffle, so all of the bosses are shuffled around, and we don't know who we're going to be fighting at those locations. Crimdahl has such smooth movement going through rooms without getting hit. Very impressive. And yeah, it looks like NesmaN did not find any other pieces of vertical movement. So they will need to backtrack, unfortunately, into the Siren's Cave. Yeah, that's the only spot other than the... why am I blanking on their name? The Cantorin boss fight is the only other spot that Crimdahl did not check. So... And so we'll get to see who is at the first boss location here. It is Genza. All right. Crimdahl doesn't have anything amazing that this boss is weak to, so I'm just gonna actually save and quit. All right. Gonna go do something else. I guess the only orbs he have is the Plasma Orb and Fire Orb, and I think he might has Wind Orb minus as well, so he would take a really long time or run out of aura. So I'm just gonna come back when he has a better loadout, I think. What is the distribution on plus and minus orbs? We are playing with the balanced loadout, which I think is all 3 have an equal chance to occur. I think there's a 33% chance for each. Ooh, and there's the Twin Pyramid Key, the fast travel item that allows you to warp between all of the gates that you've previously visited. That also means that Crimdahl can buy warp shards that allow him to warp right here at the Merchant Crow shop. So that's a very good spot to find that. And then he's going to go back here because you can't actually use warp shards until you've warped once. So he's backtracking here to warp and make sure he can warp out of these towers. And it looks like NesmaN is going to the Alana, or not Alana, the Cantorin spot. See what they have. Oh, he already got the double jump. I missed that. He's going left and burning the vines. All right, interesting. Some different routing choices here. And he finds the water mask at Upper Lake Serene, and also a very nice and convenient spot. So he can also do all of the underwater checks while he's there as well. The water mask is required in order to get to the third boss, the Maw. This flag set, so. Here at the Boots boss spot, we have the Azure Queen. Pretty nice. The first boss in the game, so very easy. Not a lot of HP, and Crimdahl was able to take it out before he ran out of aura with the Plasma Orb, and picks up Jin Inferno, one of the most powerful spells in the game, and that's if it didn't have a glitch that let you cast it for free. Whereas NesmaN has found Ifrit at Cantorin, which is a late game boss at a late game location. So, or was that it? Oh, that was at the Azure Queen spot. Okay, still not a great boss to find there. So we're just gonna bail on that as well. And Crimdahl finds Timespinner Gear 1, so he has one of the 5 pieces of the Timespinner. Just need 4 more of those in order to get the final boss. So it looks like Crimdahl's now going back to the twin spot. Feels like he has a better loadout and should be able to take on this boss much quicker. Gonna cast Jin Inferno over and over again for free. NesmaN has found Cantorin at Cantorin. Vanilla boss location. They have run out of aura, which means this might take a while, unfortunately. Ooh, they took a death there. See if they decide to go around or try again. Looks like they're gonna... Oh, maybe not. I thought they were gonna head into the caves towards the maw. Ooh, and Crimdahl picks up Empire Orb. Very nice, powerful orb. Punch. And Security Keycard B as well. That one is required. Depending on where your warp is, Keycard D is also required, and Crimdahl has both of those, so they are good on keycards to get to the endgame. Other keycards might be required, though, depending on where other pieces of the Timespinner are located. Here we have Varndegroth at Alana. Again, Jin Inferno kind of just destroys everything as Crimdahl picks up another piece of the Timespinner. Gear 2 as well. They're both fighting Alana. Crimdahl has some orbs, punch orbs that Cantorin is weak to. And some better gear, so he was able to make quick work of Cantorin. Where NesmaN is still struggling with fire minus orbs and plasma geyser. was a really good Jin Inferno placement there to take out those enemies ahead of time. Crimdahl going to hit the save point here, going to drop down here and do these 2 checks, and then if there's nothing there, he might just quit to save a little bit of time climbing back up. And he finds Umbra Orb Plus, and it looks like he's going to keep it, not just quit. I think that's the first Plus Orb that either of them has found, so that kind of makes sense there. Ooh, and Crimdahl picks up in the jackpot room the Timespinner wheel and the gas mask. The Timespinner wheel, not only a piece of the Timespinner so required, also the only one that functionally does anything. It allows you to stop time, like that, which freezes enemies in their spots. You can jump off them, and also makes some fights a little bit easier. The gas mask is logically required, because after you defeat the boss at the Maw spot, the left-hand side of the present becomes filled with poisonous gas. That will slowly make you lose health. You can defeat the Maw without the gas mask if you're feeling brave enough to run through those areas and stock up on healing items so that you don't die there, but logically the gas mask is somewhere accessible before that. So it all depends on the seed on if you decide to break logic or not. Crimdahl just making quick work of Aelana at the Maw. The Empire Orb, very powerful. And then also combining it with the Shadow Seal Ring, which increases your damage the lower your health is. So you saw him taking a little bit of intentional damage there at the start, switching to the Shadow Seal, and then that just greatly increased his damage output. So now that Crimdahl has defeated all 3 of the bosses required in the past, it looks like he's just going to head towards the lab, I would guess, as NesmaN also picks up the gas mask and his first piece of the Timespinner. Until you defeat the 3 bosses in the past, this room here would have a giant laser gate that you could not get past. So those were required to do first. Showing off some of the time stop ability to climb up here off these bombs these enemies are dropping on you. And he finds Kobo. a familiar that does unlock an optional boss fight that has checks behind it. So that might be required later. Peeking to see what item was on that pedestal. I didn't even see. Too fast for me, but nothing required, so just gonna leave that item there. Also some nice use of time stop to climb up here in the lab. Logically, that's not required, especially the item on the left-hand side of this room. You are expected to have some better form of infinite vertical to get to, because those trash pieces will stop falling once you shut off the power in the lab, which would normally abandon that item unless you have better vertical like Light Wall or Celestial Sash. But gonna have to use time stop here again, get through this room to actually shut off the power in the lab. Have to do it the old vanilla way. Doesn't happen that often in Seeds. Imagining Crimdahl feels a little twinge of pain every time he walks past a terminal here in the lab because he does not have the tablet needed to do those checks yet. And might have to return here. And we have Nightmare at Genza, so we're getting a preview of the final boss a little bit early. Not who will be fighting at the end, I guess. The boss rando feature of this has been a lot of fun as a newer addition to the randomizer, so great to see bosses where you don't expect them. NesmaN heading back into the castle now, has found the double jump, has some better gear, some better orbs, and can now get to the two bosses he needs to beat here. Yes, as Lunar Ray Games points out in the chat, the developer of Timespinner, boss rando does mean you sometimes run into bosses that expect you to have double jump, and you just don't have double jump yet, and so sometimes you just need to tank hits. But that's fine. It's not like there's also a mode where you can play with one hit point and die to one hit on everything. Who would possibly do that and play with that feature? Ooh, Crimdahl finds security keycard A behind the Azure Queen boss. So that allows him access to Zarian Cave, a late game area, with some of the strongest enemies in it, and also a couple other spots he can backtrack to and get a single check from. And it looks like that's where Crimdahl is heading now, into Zarian Cave. Or not. Gonna do a little bit of cleanup in the past. Looks like NesmaN is struggling to get up to Alana's tower. You actually need to double jump from there. There you go. And that allows you to get up there. It's a kind of tight jump that some people don't realize is in logic when they first start playing the randomizer. But yeah, if you have dash and double jump, you can get up here. NesmaN also has access to time stop here in Alana's tower, so we will see if he attempts to do a struggle juggle. Called so because you juggle an enemy by time stopping, jumping off of them, unpausing time, having them go higher, and then you pause time again before you land. It is a real struggle, but you do it here on this demon, and we will see if he attempts it. Nope, not even going to try. Looks like Crimdahl is fighting Boots at Zarian, I believe. No, that was at Ifrit. Okay. So the Kobo familiar he found did not lead to anything important. Or did it? When did he get the tablet? I am doing terrible at keeping track of both players here. But he has the tablet, so now he's going back to the lab and doing those checks first. And he finds light wall in the lab, which is a form of infinite vertical movement. You place those light walls and stand on them. So that is required. Unless the Celestial Sash, the infinite dash upwards, is somewhere else easily accessible. And he's going to use that light wall now to climb through the Emperor's Tower. There, NesmaN picks up the Twin Pyramid keys. And then it's going to head on out, get some sand, actually, and now try and bait this Ice Mage here to make a projectile that he can land on. It's a little bit difficult to time properly, though. You have to stop time a little bit later than you think. Otherwise, the projectile is not solid enough for you to stand on. So. But they do have access to fast travel. They can finally get to the present and see where their warp is and get access to a whole new area of checks. Crimdahl just looking now for the last two pieces of the Timespinner. Gear 3 and the Spindle. And then he is in go mode. But quite a few awkward places still to check, so looks like he's going to do Zarian Cave now. Oh, and there he finds the Celestial Sash. The much easier, infinite vertical movement that just lets you dash upwards as much as you like. So that light wall in the lab was not required. And there's the Merchant Crow, the other familiar that leads to an optional boss that might have checks as well. So already some goodies in Zarian Cave. Crimdahl deciding not to fight the Zarian boss yet. That has a convenient warp spot you can get back to very quickly. Going to do some other checks, including the Ravenlord Merchant Crow spot that he just found. Oh, and that leads to keycard C. Alright, the chain keeps going. Will there be anything behind security card C? You see Crimdahl here just showing off the power of Shadow Seal, just plenty of intentional damage to up his damage and quickly melt the twins' boss. And then Crimdahl's finally doing the Varndegroth Tower. This section of the map is awkward to route, especially if you don't have the elevator keycard. It allows you to get around quicker. So I understand why they waited so long to do it, but they do find Gear 3. So that was required, and all they need is the spindle for go mode. And there's the elevator keycard in the tower, in the Timespinner room. NesmaN finds as well. But there's the spindle behind the elevator keycard. So Crimdahl is in go mode now. He's going to go fight the last couple bosses. He has a choice here. He chooses to fight Ravenlord with Jin Inferno. Make quick work of this boss. Probably one of the most annoying bosses to find, but if you have something that is strong against it, it's not as bad. Crimdahl has broken time. He's now going to quickly fly through the Ancient Pyramid, the last section of the game, and just has 2 boss fights left. And there, NesmaN finds the spindle as well. So he does have all 5 pieces of the Timespinner. He does not have infinite vertical that is needed through the Ancient Pyramid here. Oh. So he is not in go mode yet, but very close behind. You need infinite vertical to get through this little pit section right there. Don't want to fall down there. There's a long climb up if you only have light wall. But Crimdahl found the sash, so it was not a problem for him at all. And the first of the 2 bosses for Crimdahl is Emperor Nuvius. Here we go, and the final boss is Prince Nuvius. Alright, so we get a little bit of time travel chicanery here as our final boss combination. Didn't I just beat you? Nope. And there we go. That is time for Crimdahl. At 49:17 on his timer. The official time 49:20 on race time GG. So congrats to him. Looks like Crimdahl suffered a single concussion. We also have a bonk count in Timespinner as well. How many times you hit the ceiling with the Celestial Sash, which Crimdahl didn't find until late in the game, so it makes sense with a single bonk. Oh, I forgot to mark this. Done. Looks like there's a forfeit from NesmaN. So yeah, that's going to do it for this round 1 race. I am not sure if we'll be able to get them into the commentary booth. Looks like Mike Gerard has joined us, or Crimdahl, sorry. So we'll see if I can to hop on up in, talk about it. But that was a very good race. And let's see if I can take a look here. All right. Doesn't look like we have much in the bracket information for what that leads to next. But yeah, it was still a very fun, exciting race. NesmaN was actually not that far behind. They did find all 5 pieces of the Timespinner. Just needed to find vertical movement. And then they would have been in go mode as well. Congrats to Crimdahl, though, on the victory. All right, and we do have Crimdahl here joining us. Congratulations on the victory.
Oh, thank you, Waffle Soup.
This was an interesting seed.
Interesting is one way to put it, certainly.
Yeah, there were some routing divergences at the beginning. And you were ahead for most of the seed, but near the end, NesmaN actually find all 5 spinner pieces just shortly behind you, but they were just missing vertical movement.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, it was pretty unfortunate to just have that, the sash in Zarian's area with almost nothing else. So yeah,
also, the chain leading to the last 2 Timespinner, both in Varndegrass Tower.
Yep, and the elevator key card.
Yep.
A lot of rude spots to the seed, starting with the double jump being in upper caves of banishment. Then the twin pyramid keys were below balcony in Alanis area, where you might have skipped that because you didn't have a way to get up into the balcony itself. Just the orb and spell quality in general was pretty poor.
Yeah, like this is supposed to be balanced. I was surprised with how few plus orbs. Were any plus orbs actually found?
I think it was
Umbra.
just Umbra.
Yeah.
Which I didn't use properly. I feel like I could have saved some time using that.
You certainly showed off Shadow Seal strats very well, though.
Yep. Always got to make use of the Shadow Seal when you've got it for best, for best times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, big shout out to NesmaN, my opponent. I noticed he's not in here, but I just wanted to say GG's. That was a really tough seed to have as the first tournament match.
Yeah, that was not a fun one. I'm glad I didn't have it myself. Yeah, congratulations to you. Good job, NesmaN. You put up a very good showing, and this was a fun first round match.
Yep. And thank you so much for commentating this, Waffle Soup.
Yeah, no problem. This was also an enjoyable experience getting to see both of you and pick up some strategies myself as well. Thank you to SpeedGaming Live for hosting us.
Yep.
Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. And we will close it up here. There are more matches going on, other matches going on currently, and other ones throughout the week as well. So keep an eye on the schedule, and you'll be seeing more Timespinner as we go through this tournament.
All right, well, thank you everybody for watching.
And see ya.
Right,
Bye.
until next time.